everybody. Today we're going to be doing the CCC J3 hidden palindrome. So open it up here. It's also from 2016, the junior set. A palindrome is a word. So here's the description. A palindrome is a word which is the same when read forwards as it is when read backwards. For example, Mom and Anna are two palindromes. A word which has just one letter, such as A, is also a palindrome. Given a word, what is the longest palindrome that is contained in the word? That is, what is the longest palindrome that we can contain if we are allowed to delete character from the beginning or the end of the string? The input one consists of one line, containing a sequence of at least 1 and at most 40 lowercase letters. Output the total number of letters of the longest palindrome contained in the input word. So our sample input 1 is banana, and it's 5 because an is the longest palindrome. Abracadabra is 3 because ACA and ADA are, and ABBA is 4 because the whole thing is 1. And also, here's a cool one I've seen. A man, a plan, a canal, Panama. If you take away the spaces, it's actually a palindrome. Here you can see. Yeah. Oh, you can actually extend it, but yeah, basically, yeah, there's a cool one I found. So let's open up PyCharm here. Let's delete the code here. So this is pretty similar to LeetCode question 5. I think it's called longest palindromic substring. Where and the only difference really is that the LeetCode question wants you to return the actual string, and the CCC only wants you to return the length of the string. So there's actually two ways to do this question that I'll be doing today. One has a big O runtime of ON to the power of 3, and that's actually not accepted in LeetCode. As you can see here, these are the ON3 ones. These are time limit exceeded. But these ones, these are ON squared, and it will be accepted. So yeah, but the CCC one will accept any. So yeah. So I'll do the ON3 first. So what we're gonna do here is, so basically what we want to do here is we want to get every substring that's in our original string and see if it's a palindrome, and then return the longest one. So we will define our first function called longest palindrome. I'll call it longest palindrome, and the first thing we have to check is if we need to bring in our string. If the length of our s is equal to 1, so it's one letter, we just return s. Length of s. And then here our result is this, so our final string. And then for I in range length of s, and then for j in range length of s, our string that we'll pass in is equal to si to j plus 1. Because this will get every string, because when this is on 0, this will go like 1, 2, 3. So if I have like a string like ABA, it'll be, so the first time we'll just have A, AB, and ABA. So we'll have A, AB, ABA, and then the next time we'll have B and BA, and then BA, And then the last time, we'll have, I think it's just A again. So these are all our possibilities for ABA. So that's what the for loop is doing. And then, if our is valid with string, so if it's valid, so that means if this thing is a palindrome, and the length of this string is larger than our length of the current found palindrome, we set our result as string. And then at the end here, we return the length of result. And then here we define our is valid, s. So the way we'll check it is, so this is the ON3. So what we'll do is we'll have one, like the left on the first value of the list, or the string, and then another one on the last value. So here, our left is 0. You know, we're doing index. Right is equal to length of s minus 1, because it's 0 based. And while left is smaller than or equal to right, so when they hit the middle, until they hit the middle, it'll keep doing. If s left is equal to s right, so if these two are equal, or actually a better way to do this, if they're not equal, that means it's not a palindrome, we return false. If it does pass, that means the current ones are the same, so we have to move them. So left plus 1 and right minus 1. And then if the while passes without returning false, we return true. So here I want s is equal to my input, and then print longest palindrome with s. So if we test it with something like A, it should put 1. And if we put like A, B, it should be 3, because ABA. Actually, BAB would work too. Yeah, so let's submit this code into here, DMOJ. And as I said, this ON3 works for the CCC, but here, if I drag it over, you'll see that the leak code inputs this really long thing of just AB, and yeah, here it's really long, but basically it inputs it and it's too slow. So you see, it passed 93 test cases before it did that. So it works, but it's too slow. So to combat that, let's just get rid of this code right now. To combat that, we will be coding a faster solution, which is ON squared. So that's actually exponentially smaller, because the other one is n times n times n. Because if we get the code back here, you'll see that it iterates here s times and then another s times. So that's already s squared or n squared. But then inside here, it also will go through s again. So then that adds another one. So that's n times n times n, which is n to the 3. So we're going to do a ON squared solution. So actually, we can still have the functions here. It's just stuff inside it will be different. So first of all, longest palindrome. It's the same thing. If the length of our string is equal to 1, we just return the length of s. Straightforward. Same thing, we have a result list. But this time, we only have one for loop here, and the other one in the while loop, so that's n squared. So for I in range length of s, we have like a string 1 and a string 2. Oh. So string 1 is equal to, here we shouldn't call it is valid, but like get palindrome. So and we have si and I. So for this one, when we check it, when we check the palindrome, we're not starting from the left and right. We're starting from the middle and going out. And our second string is equal to get palindrome with si and I plus 1. And then here, if the length of the first string is larger than the length of result, result is equal to S1. And then here, also, if the length of our second one is larger than length of res, res is equal to S2. So here, it's basically the same thing where, like, we have the I to j plus 1, but it's only one for loop. And then at the end, we return the length of result. And here, we change this to get palindrome. And then here, instead of one variable, we have our left and our right. Technically, they aren't left and right, but I just like using it. And then so our result is here, like the string that will return. So while you don't want it to go out of range because we're starting from the middle. So while left is larger than or equal to 0, the index, and the right has to be smaller than or equal to the length of our string, minus 1, of course, because it's 0 based. What we'll do is, if our s left, it's like the same thing, is not equal to our s right, return. Oh, we can't return false. We have to break the loop. And then same thing where we do left, but now it's minus 1 because it's from the middle, and right plus 1. And then at the end, we just have to return s left plus 1 because it iterated 1 too many times to the right. Because it doesn't include right, it'll already minus 1 for us. So if we run with ABA again, oh, oops, and then like ABAB, ABABAB, that should be 5, yep. So now, if we also put this into DMOJ here, resubmit, get rid of this old one, get this new one in. Yeah, it passes it. It doesn't make that much of a difference here, but in LeetCode it does. As you can see here, it passed all the test cases. So I can actually, I think I can try running the, I'll pull it over. You see, these are ON squared, these ones, this TLE, time limit exceeded, is ON to the 3, or ON cubed. So I can try running it again. So if I'll just copy the code here. So you can see when I submit it, it'll go like pending, and then it'll judge it. It'll judge it for a pretty long time because it has to run for a pretty long time. But then you'll see here, it'll say time limit exceeded, NA, and it gets stuck on this ABAB, and it's like too large where the ON3 just passes a time limit. But if we take this one, which is the one I just coded, and just replace it and submit, you'll see that it still does take a long time to run, but at least it passes, you can see. So that was, once again, CCC problem J3, hidden palindrome.